Today's show is all about leadership and a great organization here in Putnam County that helps develop leaders from some of the underrepresented populations in our community. I'm talking about Impact Cookeville. And today my guest is Mr. D. Prince.
Thank you, sir.
One of the founding fathers, I think, of Impact.
The founding fathers, that's right.
Thanks for being here, D.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to be able to come and speak.
Well, Impact has become a huge part of our community. And,
absolutely.
We're going to talk about a great banquet event that you have
that's right.
each year that we all enjoy. But
right.
To get us started, give us a little rundown on Impact and kind of how it started, how you got involved with it.
Yeah, so Impact started around 2009 as the brainchild of Robert Owens, and Rob is one of my very best friends and also my pastor and my fraternity brother. He's got quite a few roles. It doesn't matter. If he says do something, I've got to do it now. But he came with an idea of like minds and like faces getting together with African American men. And he wanted to create a space for us to talk about, current events and issues that affect the African American community and in general with black men. And so he started this idea along with Dr. Quentin Cancel and Harry Engel and a few others. We developed Impact, which was our organization for us, by us, to be able to help the community as a whole. We wanted to be assets to the community. We wanted to be an asset to the African American community first as black men and as black leaders, before we could be assets to the community as a whole and any other cultures as well. And so Impact started out as innovative men progressing the African American community together. And now it's kind of changed course and changed the acronym to Innovative Minds Progressing progressing all communities together.
Well, you've grown.
We've definitely grown.
This thing started out.
That's about 11 years ago.
It's been amazing to see the growth.
Absolutely. And when you start thinking about what we had in mind, it started out as strengthening African American men to be better mentors, better fathers, becoming better leaders. Then, taking that and putting it into the African American community, so we can definitely be identified as leaders in our community, in our African American community, and then take that and encourage leadership in the community as a whole. So realistically, what we wanted to do was take care of home first, before we were able to go and be invited to other people's houses.
Well, and you got to fix your own house before you got to fix it.
That's right.
Telling somebody else how they can fix
That's
their
right.
house.
I can't tell you your living room's dirty if mine's a mess too.
That's right. and you've done a great job with that.
Yeah.
We have a great African American community here in Putnam County and in Cookeville. The one thing that we've solved the years, though, we haven't seen a lot of those folks get involved in the leadership roles in our community. And you saw that need.
Absolutely.
You and Rob and I think of Mark Burnett. I think of a whole group of folks that saw that need and started this organization. And it's better today than it was.
Yes.
But you still got a lot of work to do, don't you?
We do. We still have a lot of work to do. One of the things that we definitely want to encourage is we want to encourage service. We want to encourage service and leadership. That's the big thing. As I mentioned before, being a strong African American man, and that's no offense to any other culture. We have to start with ourselves first. But you notice that there aren't a lot of African American CEOs here. There aren't a lot of presidents of banks or whatever it may be with African American males. So the encouragement that we want is to first be better people. Better fathers to your family, be better professionals, meaning if you have to go to school, do whatever you have to do. And then when those opportunities come about, then you're prepared to be sitting at the table with the rest of the CEOs and presidents and managers. We have a lot of people that don't run for public office. We have a lot of African Americans that don't run for public office. And yet we have a lot of African Americans in our community that say, well, we'd like to see like faces in city council. We'd like to see like faces on the county commission. We'd like to see like faces at this company or that company. The issue is that we're not running. we're not applying.
Why?
We're not.
Do you know? I mean, is there
maybe it could be the qualifications, and maybe that's where it ends. Is that we say, people in the African American community say, well, there's this job, I'd love to have that, but I don't have these requirements, so I'm not going to worry about trying to get it. I think about myself, and I'm the best example that you could use. I had probably about 8 years of school at Tennessee Tech before I graduated, and I was getting these jobs that were mid-management level, and wondered why I couldn't get to that next step. It was because the requirement was a degree.
Right.
So instead of saying, okay, hey, I'm not going to worry about it, I got to the point where I said, if that's what it takes, then I'm going to get the degree to do that.
You're going to do what it takes.
I'm going to do what it takes to get it done. With not having like faces in some type of leadership, we can't win if we don't run. We can't win, and we can't be there unless we run, unless we apply. So that's the encouragement.
So I hear all the time, and I'm sure you do inside of Impact.
Yeah.
We want to see this happen. We want to see that happen. And then when you say, okay, how about you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Right? No, not me. I'm talking about someone else.
That's absolutely it.
It's got to be me, though.
That's absolutely it.
You have to be willing to step up.
It absolutely does. We have these programs through Impact. We have the Impact Leadership Program, which is encouraging people to learn how to be on boards, be on a board of directors or a committee. So we encourage people to jump into Impact Leadership, teach them how to do these things, and give them the tools so they can jump on committees. Right. But then I think some people feel like once they graduate from Impact Leadership, then the work is done. The work is just beginning.
You're just getting started.
You're just getting started. I'm just giving you the tools to put in your toolbox so you can go out and fix this house or fix this pool or whatever it is.
It's kind of like me teaching you how to build a house and giving you the tools, and then you never go.
And I never go and apply that.
And some of that is generational, too, as we'll talk about as we get further into the show, that the new generations coming on are not into serving.
Absolutely.
Like you and I or other generations before us have been, that there was and they're involved in their community, but not in the serving roles and the elected officials and the boards and all those kind of things. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in our second segment. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. Hope you're having a great day. My guest today is D. Prince. He is representing Impact here in Cookeville, and we've been talking about leadership and training leaders of the future to step up and lead, whether it's our country, state, city, county, or just being on nonprofit boards and community activities to take those leadership roles. And Impact has a lot of programs that fall under Impact D that you're trying to do this
absolutely
for your community. Tell us a little bit about some of the programs.
So with Impact, as I stated earlier, we do a lot, and we were doing a lot in terms of strengthening the African American men and to being assets in the African American community, and then and the community as a whole. With Impact, it grew. As it grew, of course, with our banquet that I'll tell you a little bit more about, with our banquet, then we got into diversity and inclusion, and with that diversity and inclusion, established Impact with the three big initiatives, and that is education, empowerment, and equity. Right. And with that, we have somewhat tentacles and different programs. Right. A few of the programs that we have: the Man Up program, the Future Leaders League program, the P16 mentoring, working with the children and the teens need training program. Just kind of going back with Man Up, we really encourage that program because these are young black males. Of course, hence the name Man Up. Right. Young black males, college age, that and it occurs on campus primarily with Dr. Robert Owens. It's these situational type people that we have in terms of not having fathers, right. Broken homes, or right. whatever may be going on.
Which we see a lot of today.
Exactly.
Not just in the African American community, but in all walks of life.
But it seems to be the Achilles heel of the African American male, because you grow up without a father, so you weren't necessarily taught how to be a man.
Right.
And that's true in a lot of communities, not just African American communities. But with the Man Up program, we try to encourage being a stronger male role model, being a stronger role model for those that are following you. And so we do everything from teaching how to dress for success, resume writing, just a little bit of everything, even from a mental wellness capacity. We've had visitors come in and talk to these young men about some of the deep-rooted issues that are within them that they keep bottled up.
It's all inside.
Exactly. And therefore that spoils the success for them, at the collegiate level, with on a social plane, and can even start to affect them from a vocational level as well.
You see it in your job at Cummins, and when you were with Ficosa, and I see it with our youth, and not even so much with youth, even with the middle-aged folks.
Yes.
They do not know how to write a resume.
Right.
They do not know how to dress properly for an interview.
Absolutely.
They don't know how to greet someone properly with a handshake.
That's right.
And that is so important.
It is. It's essential.
And your group is stepping up.
That's right.
And teaching these guys to all those things to do and how to be a man.
Yeah.
You've been very successful with that, right?
Absolutely. A lot of the gentlemen that have come through that program, there have been quite a few that have gone on to impact leadership, into impact leadership and other boards. And even when they graduate from college, you can see it. It's present when they have job fairs. And I actually had 2 or 3 young men that were in the Man Up program that I saw at a tech job fair for my respective company, and the handshake was there. Everything about them was there, and you could tell that they absorbed that information that we were giving them. So whatever they've gone on to, or whatever company, wherever they may have gone, I know that the impact that Man Up has had on them is going to be long-standing. And then rolling into Future Leaders League, it's a program that stresses and motivates literacy for our young black children. And of course, as I said, that's not to say that it doesn't exist in other cultures as well.
Absolutely.
We have to concentrate on the one that we can concentrate on, the one that we can identify. Exactly, that I can identify with. And that's where the Future Leaders League comes from: encouragement and literacy, book clubs, even somewhat kind of a short book report form. Hey, you've read the book, now give us a synopsis, a summary of what's going on, encouraging different books for them to read, some of the ones that were important to us as children. This is probably something you need to read before you turn 18 years old. And so literacy, and understanding and comprehension is what Future Leaders League is all about. If we can get these children, these young black children, to fall in love with reading, to fall in love with communication, then the miscommunications where problems occur, those can be eliminated.
And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Communicating. If you and I can communicate,
absolutely,
we can do about anything we want to. But if we can't communicate, or there's miscommunication between us, it's never going to work. Are we, not with just with the African American community, but with all of our kids, how are we missing somewhere in the education process? Almost like that, some of these things that we're having to teach these folks afterwards, they don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't know how to write a resume.
The life skills.
Have we got so wrapped up maybe in the other side of education that we've left that out?
I think so, in my personal opinion. This isn't an Impact Cookeville opinion, but it is an opinion from myself. I know that part of the responsibility, it falls on the parents.
Absolutely.
A lot of the responsibility falls on us as parents. If the schools encourage us to read to your child, or have your child read 20 minutes a day, then that's what they should do. How many
of us are actually doing
and
that?
And that's the thing. And I've been guilty of it. I've been too busy with work projects that I've brought home, or I've been too busy with other projects that I'm doing outside, that I missed that 20 minutes of reading. So what you have to do is you have to make it a priority and make it in your schedule to say, hey, at 8:25 or at 8 o'clock when the kids are winding down, we're going to do this 20 minutes of reading. This is going to happen. And it doesn't have to be 20 minutes per child. It could be 20 minutes to collectively as a family. And that's what I encourage as well. If it's a, mother and father, or grandma and father or grandma and mother, whoever's in the house, encourage a group reading session. The other thing is, my son, my middle schooler, he gets a kick out of when daddy helps him with his homework, because he takes it back to school the next day as if we've just solved the Pythagorean theorem or something.
Well, he's proud of that.
Exactly. So it encourages the interaction with the family dynamic, but at the same time, it encourages the education portion, which is great. And so, we've got these things and the other things that I mentioned, the teens need training, getting to that portion too, and then the MAC Council, which is a multicultural advisory.
I want to get more into that in the next segment. My guest today is Mr. D. Prince, and we're talking about leadership and the leadership role that Impact plays here in our community that D was one of the founding fathers on with several other folks. And you got, we set up something here last year. We call it the MAC.
That's right.
That Mayor Shelton and I, under the suggestion of Impact, and several of you came to us and talked about diversity and making sure that we have a lot of international companies moving here. It's not just about African American or Spanish or whatever. Brazil, Spain, we got all these places that these international companies are coming to Cookeville. They're bringing employees with them.
That's right.
They're executives here.
That's right.
We want everyone to feel welcome.
That's
here
right.
And be a part of our community. Tell us a little bit about the MAC and what that stands for and what the purpose of it is.
And so when you start thinking about some of the companies that have come here from international waters, as you mentioned before, they're not coming by themselves.
No.
They're bringing their families. They're bringing people that were instrumental in the relocation process. And so with that, we want to make sure that they have a place that they can get acclimated to and have identifiable communities. When you have different cultures, different language barriers, it's always great to find somebody who's kind of plugged in to the city that they're moving to and helping in the acclimation process. And so, of course, with the help, I believe it was Dr. Quentin Cancel that suggested it, and with the help of Mayor Shelton and with your help, we established the MAC, which is the Multicultural Advisory Council. One of the things that I want to clear up about it, that a lot of people, when they first heard about it, they thought it was almost a minority city council. We have no jurisdiction whatsoever.
It's an advisory board.
It's an advisory board for the various cultures that we have here. And we've done some great work. We have a lot of initiatives. It's in the genesis, in the birthing stages. Yeah. And so what we're doing is putting together quite a few initiatives. And one of the biggest initiatives that we had was the Mayor's Cup, which was the soccer friendly between Cummins and Ficosa, two very diverse companies.
Absolutely.
When you start talking about the diversity that exists in each of these companies, you've got so many different cultures: Middle Eastern, Latino, African American, non-minority. It was a absolutely amazing thing. When we thought about this, we thought, okay, so it'll be a soccer game and maybe families will be there. But there were so many people from the community that came and supported.
That had nothing to do with Cummins or Ficosa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had no idea where this crowd came from when I showed up. And, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what did we pay people to come? Or these extras? Did we have
running
fillers?
late, and when I pulled up, I thought, have we got another soccer tournament going on here?
Maybe I'm at the wrong one. Yeah. So it was amazing to have that Mayor's Cup, and the initiative that we had with establishing that soccer friendly was to make sure that we had all the different cultures that were in Cookeville, that work, live, and play in Cookeville, represented through that soccer game. Yeah. And it's gotten it gained so much attention and notoriety that we are now getting ready to put together like a soccer tournament, and that'll be announced later at a later date. But we're definitely trying to do some big things along the lines with that, and it's all working towards this welcome mural, welcome wall. We're trying to do something that's pretty big along the lines of welcome with different languages. We are a very friendly community. That's exactly right.
We're very welcoming.
It is.
And we want all these folks, regardless of what language you may speak, or what nationality you are, or minority you may be.
Right.
We want you to feel welcome here and be a part of our community.
Exactly.
And this is a great thing.
Yeah.
And the council's doing a great job. I've been amazed at just in the short amount of time of all the brainstorming and the stuff that's coming out of this, and to be able to have the Mayor's Cup coming up on our second year. That was a success in itself.
It was, and we definitely
where
thank
did
you
all
guys.
those people learn to play soccer?
I don't know, but I saw some people that
for blood.
I know. I saw some people that I've known for years and didn't know that they could play a lick of soccer, and they were better. They're 10 times better than me.
They were great.
Oh man, it was a great game, and we really thank you for showing up to present the trophy.
Oh, it was an
that
honor.
made it official when you hoisted the trophy up with Cummins. That made it official, and we had young soccer teams that were there and their coaches encouraging coming and checking this out and seeing people that look like some of these other kids. All of those different things really make a difference.
And also, it was for the kids that were there too.
Yeah.
You were teaching those kids
Absolutely.
Life.
Exactly.
Of how things are supposed to be. Y'all beat yourself to death on the soccer field and turn around and you're shaking hands and hugging and you're all friends. And
that's right.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right. Regardless of what the differences may be in terms of skin color, in terms of languages that you speak, as a second language.
We're all human beings.
Everybody's human.
We're all God's children.
That's right. That's right.
Let's talk about, you got our great event coming up. February the 23rd.
23rd, Sunday, February 23rd. That's right.
The Impact Banquet at the Leslie Town Center.
Yeah.
How did the banquet get started?
So the banquet got started. This is our 8th annual banquet. So 8 years ago, we decided that we wanted to, in the vein of Black History Month, of course, February being Black History Month, we wanted to make sure that people knew about the rich tradition of Black citizens who are woven into the fabric, woven into the DNA of what makes Cookeville. Mm-hmm. And we've had some great honorees: Morris Irby, Mark Burnett, Shaquana Wester. We've had some of them, Miss Johnny Wheeler, just to name a few, Isaac and Amanda Bohannon. And we wanted to make sure that we had this banquet every year so we can shine some light on some of the great African Americans that have helped this city thrive. It is going to be, it's our 8th annual banquet. It's going to be February 23rd. That's a Sunday. It starts at 5:30 p.m. It's at the Leslie Town Center, which is at 1 West 1st Street. Tickets are $50, and you can purchase those at the www.impactbanquet.com. Now, people can go to our website, which is www.impactcookeville.com. Just click the events tab, and you can find tickets there.
This is one of the premier events.
It is.
And I'm not saying that just because you're here.
No, I absolutely think so.
A lot of events year round. And we have some great nonprofits.
We do.
Great events.
We do.
Yours has become one of the premier events. It will be sold out.
It will be.
The room will be packed.
Yeah.
And it's such a great night. Yeah. Everyone is there, regardless of who you are or where you came from.
That's right.
Everybody's there together to have a good time and support a great event.
To hear the stories. So we've got two great honorees. We've got Linda Irby, longtime educator,
sweet person.
Yeah, I can actually say this because Morris isn't around, but at a young age, she was actually a crush. She's a beautiful woman, and she's such a great educator. Yeah, don't tell Morris. But we've also got Bobby Bartlett. He's the pastor at the Free Hill Church of Christ in Salina, which is Clay County. And the reason why that is so instrumental is because of the Free Hill community. Of course, the Free Hill community started with, it was a North Carolina slave owner, Virginia Hill. She bought about 2,000 acres of land in the early 1800s, and she gave the land to the slaves when she freed them. And then she, of course, left the area. Right. And the church and the community, the Free Hill community, are over 200 years old. I think it's about 204 years old. And you can definitely go to freehillcommunity.org and find out more about that. But it's important that these are our neighbors. And we've got to know about the story of our neighbors and people who
the history.
The history of and people who you interact with every single day. We have lots of people around this area, African Americans, that are related straight to the descendants of the Free Hill community.
Ancestry.
So the ancestors. So it's an important thing. We've got Virtue. They're going to be they're a Grammy nominated gospel group. Karima Kibble has performed with us previous, but she's bringing her group. So it's going to be a great night of storytelling. It's going to be a great night of entertainment. And you can kick off your regular shoes and put on your dancing shoes.
If you've never been to this event, folks, you need to come. It is unbelievable. It'll be a great night. Dee, thank you so much for what you do and for what you do with Impact and all the other folks of Impact, you become a huge part of our community.
Absolutely.
You've been a great friend, and I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you, Randy. Anytime you need me, you let me know.
Hey, same here.
All right.